What's up, everybody, and welcome to Weekday Wagers live on a Weekday Wagers YouTube channel. I am your host, Daniel Greer, and it is a Monday, and we have the weekend to recap. We're looking at what's happening, and in all honesty, it was a completely filled weekend. One of the more full weekends of sports that I've had in a while, and I was excited about the NBA Summer League as well as the World Cup. We had the third place game as well as the final. And my whole family was together watching that. My youngest, who has played soccer once, who knew that she had all these questions about soccer? And I laid sod throughout the day. And in the hottest day of July is stupid, but it has to be done because the wife said so. But today on the show, we're talking about our bets because we both have one each, as well as we welcome in Raphael at about the 15 to 20 minute after the hour mark. He'll be here for 15 or 20 minutes every Monday as we get throughout the season. So it should be a fun-filled day. And so we're going to get to what we have with baseball, and we're going to do all that today, right now, with Marky Model. There he is. What up, man?
Hey. Well, I am just so happy to be here, DG. It is Monday, start of a new week. Finished the week real well. We went 3-0 on our NRFI plays on Friday. And then it had some challenges this weekend with some family matters, some health issues. I can tell you that everybody is okay. So we should be good there. But I am really looking forward to diving into this week.
Yeah, definitely prayers up to you and your family going through a tough weekend. But I know we don't want to just spend too much time on that. But definitely in our thoughts and prayers, just being very we'll dance around that one for sure. But let's get into today's show. And I want to talk about something that happened last night, Mark. I know you watched it a little bit of as well, but it was the NBA Summer League Championship. And yes, Joe, it was a brutal beat last night on the Grizzlies, who were winning the entire game. Like the entire game, just dominating. And then out of nowhere, Yaxel Lindeborg goes off. I think he hit 7 straight. Everything he threw up went in. He even would drop the ball and get the ball stolen and then yell for a timeout and get the timeout because that's what the refs do. And then after the game, he proceeds to complain about Cam Boozer, Carlos Boozer's son, Cam Boozer, and how the refs love him and do everything they can to help him win. Shut up, Yaxel. But how'd you like that game last night?
First of all, it was so impressive what Boozer and that Memphis Grizzlies team was doing for the first 3 quarters of the game. I mean, it was theirs. And I was really thinking, wow, this is shaping up to just be a blowout. And I wonder if Boozer's impact to the Grizzlies is going to be that great. That is it going what's that push that a guy like Boozer brings? Because last night he was the dominant player on the floor until and then the wheels came off. But it's hard to discount what they did for the entire tournament into just the fourth quarter of last night's game. I think that overall they had a fantastic tournament. I think the Memphis Grizzlies have a lot to be excited for as far as the talent and the things that are coming up. And you know what? Those referees, just like the players, are up and coming referees. They're all trying to make their push into the NBA to get into the association. So it's a job tryout for them as well. So it's going to be some mistakes.
Well, Joe's asking or saying that timeout was insane, but he's asking, did they ever explain that timeout? And so what I understood that if you didn't watch it, you won't really get this. But under the goal, it was late into the game. It was under a minute. Yeah. And a Boozer, I guess, had pushed up on Yaxel in a sense under the basket. And Yaxel could not go anywhere. And so he was yelling for timeout. And why he yelled for timeout, he decided he just dropped the ball. And it's looking for a referee to call timeout while Boozer stole it and then laid it up. And at that point, they said the coach called a timeout, which they showed the angle. And the coach never said a word, except for when he finally did the motion for timeout. But that was after Boozer had the ball and was going up to dunk it. And so I think that it was, like you said, young refs. And honestly, I don't understand how that isn't possibly reviewed because everything is reviewed. but it is what it is. I'm excited that I got excited for NBA Summer League. I usually always do, but it was actually more of a bias feel for me this year. But I enjoyed it. I hated that it was Yaxel, even though Yaxel, as Joe's point, 14 point fourth quarter. And yes, that's really that's what did them in. So
I'll tell you what, that NBA Summer League game was much more exciting than the FIFA World Cup.
Really?
Oh, good God.
All right. So going into that game, you did not enjoy it at all. I was trying to lay sod and do because my ground has more clay in it, and I'm trying to chill up the clay, just whatever. But in the end, I was putting in that while I was watching the game / listening to it, and anything exciting, I'm like looking at my phone, find out what's happening. But you didn't enjoy it at all.
First of all, I thought it was it was an exciting game from one standpoint only. The way Spain was unrelentingly just punishing Argentina for mistakes. I mean, when you have 20 shots on goal and Argentina has zero.
Yeah.
It's a lopsided game. And the fact that I think Argentina got exposed for how they kind of lucked their way into and right. Really, I mean, rabbit foot, horseshoe, whatever you want to call it, lucky penny, how they got to this finals. The fact that Spain's defense was just absolutely dominant throughout the tournament.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they had 6 shutouts out of 7 games.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. It pisses me off too, because the one game they didn't have a shutout was also a saloon shot that I missed.
Right.
Well, damn it.
I will say that Spain was a better team, and it was crazy how good they were in controlling the game. And I would have been a little upset if Argentina would have won that game, even though at first I was cheering for Argentina just because it's Messi's last stand, last dance. Why not? But in the end of the day, I just saw that and I was like, man, if somehow this comes down to penalty kicks and Argentina just somehow figures out a way to win, to which, to Joe's point, we literally had 0 shots on goal from Argentina. And even Rafael's already here and he confirmed it. I don't understand how you don't have a shot on goal the entire game, but it was a dominant performance by Spain. And I'm glad that somehow they kept chipping away. That goalie for Argentina, phenomenal play. The most he set the record now for the most saves in a FIBA World Cup final. I think he had 11, I believe it was
14. He got pummeled.
Yeah, with a broken finger. And the doctors at one point were telling him leading up to this, like, you're not going to play in the World Cup. And he's like, I'm going to play in the World Cup, and end up having a really good World Cup. But it had now holds the record in the finals. So that just goes to show that they were just peppering shots at the goal.
And to be clear, shots on goal and shots on target are 2 separate categories. So you can have a shot on goal that sails over the top of the goalpost and it still counts as a shot on goal. Shots on target are where the goalie has to actually make the save and stop the ball. He had 14 of those shots on target, 20 shots on goal. I mean,
wow.
Spain only missed 6 shots that he didn't have to worry about.
Crazy. It was a game that I actually really enjoyed. I thought it was a good game, and I thought that the World Cup overall was really good. I know it was in America, and so we were, definitely watching it more closely here in America, and the times, they weren't crazy, so we could actually see all the games. And I thought it was a good showing just overall. And honestly, I think the publicity that, that the United States, which, we love being, in this country, and the publicity it got from other people outside of the U.S., I think in the end, I think that's the win. I think that when you come out of this, I think it is the World Cup was phenomenal. I think U.S. gets put in a better light because of that. What do you think?
I think the biggest loser here is Canada, right?
Because of the wildfire?
No, not because of the wildfire. Because they sent us Justin Bieber. And what the hell was that at halftime?
Bro, I watched it for a few minutes. And I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what is it? It wasn't even at the stadium.
Yeah, it was.
I heard it wasn't at that stadium.
The halftime show was all at the stadium.
I thought it wasn't at the stadium. I
All
thought
the
somebody said it
performers. They
wasn't.
even had the Muppets did a better job than Justin Bieber.
Why? Why did they have the Muppets?
Because Justin Bieber came out and sang a ballad, acoustic ballad, like he's at a campfire. You got the most hype event in the world taking place, and you go out on stage and sing a song about hallelujah.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Kim says, why not have the Muppets? My thing was it didn't, like I said, I didn't watch like all of it to a T for the halftime show, but I was just curious, like, where are we going with all this? Because it was definitely something different, we'll say. But in the end of the day, I believe we got the real Shakira. Is that right? That's what the real Shakira,
the real Madonna, BTS.
Sounds like we're winning.
I think they missed the mark because Madonna should have come out and sang "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina."
Oh, that would have been pretty funny.
Because she played the actress in Evita. So yeah, they missed the mark there.
That is funny. All right. Well, we're going to get to our plays before we bring Raphael in here in just a few minutes. But make sure you, if you want to chat along with us, it's very simple. Our live shows, you can be a part of the fam, which is you get the emojis, the badges, all that. We'll give you shout outs. You get to ask questions, whether it's sports betting, whether you're just talking about your favorite TV show, because we always do some TV time out around here. We love watching the other shows as well as sports. But you can chat live with us. And then if you want to be baller member, I have my members only baller status level play up already. Plus the 5X community parlay. When we get to Sunday Night Football, we're going to have those halftime shows just for all of you. But as well as just members only live streams, we'll be able to do all that. Much more right here. But if you can be a baller member, $5 a month, not much. Don't do it on your phone. Do it on the desktop. You save a couple bucks. I've learned that. I did not know that. Or you can be a fan member, and then you'll be able to ask questions to people like us. But also, if you're looking for somebody smarter, feel free to ask Raphael that question. Don't ask me. I'm just the guy with the mouth that talks a lot. And I might do a design or two. That's all I do. But let's get to our plays. The half of the reason people are here. And Mark, you got the hey, ladies.
Listen, in honor of Raphael. Hey, ladies. That's right. We're going to go with the Seattle Storm plus 9.5. Why? Look, Minnesota is clearly the better team right here, but laying almost double digits with the Lynx right now is just absolutely insane. They've won 5 straight. They sit at 20-6, but they've also failed to cover in 7 consecutive games. That tells us that Minnesota is still winning. It's just not creating the kind of separation that this line would expect them to do. They're heading into Climate Pledge Arena over in Seattle, where the underdog has covered in each of Seattle's last 7 games. And they've actually won 3 of those games outright. Seattle may be 6-21, but this is a young team. They're still competing. The Storm just went into Indiana and scored 107 points in a 3-point loss, with Natisha Heidman and Dominique Malonga leading an offense that has 4 players averaging double figures. I really love this spot for the Storm to keep this one competitive and in single digits.
All right, we're going to go from the ladies to a man, Austin Riley. All right, Austin Riley has absolutely sucked this season. There's no bones about it. He has dropped down from maybe the guy hitting in the 3-hole, maybe the 4-hole, to definitely no less than the 5-hole, to now possibly hitting in the 7-hole at times. But guess who's getting hot? Sometimes you need a break. And before the break, right before the All-Star break, Austin Riley started getting some hits, started hitting the ball. You know, the hard hit percentages are increasing. The barrel rate's increasing. Everything's starting to get a little bit better. His timing is starting to lock in. Well, guess what? Now in the last 3 games back since, he has had 6 hits over the last 3 games, and he's covered this line in every single game. So we're going to go with Austin Riley over the 1.5 hits, runs, and RBIs at -110. So all we need is 2+ combination of hits, runs, or RBIs. But he's going against a lefty who he strokes lefties normally. He's starting to get back to that part, but he's going to get up against JP Sears. And they're playing these Padres. The Padres suck. And they might be Mark's team, but the Padres suck. And so I'm going to take a guy who's on the rise in Austin Riley to have 2+ hits, runs, and RBI at -110. Mark, is JP Sears going to give it up to Austin Riley today?
Listen, the Padres do suck. They won one game in Kansas City over the weekend, but they can't score runs. They just can't score runs. They're horrible. They're a team. Listen, if you're targeting no-run first innings, they are a team worst in Major League Baseball. Specifically a team that is scoring a run, they're scoring a run in the first inning at only 21% of the time this season.
Wow. Well, looking at the games today in baseball, and we're going to get to Rafael here in just a couple minutes, but I want to get your opinion on, is there a game that maybe over at justthatsports.com that the model likes a game? You're like, hey, it's starting to favor this, whether you have a play on it or not, fine. But is there a game over at JTS that, yes, this is really what's starting to line up, and this game tonight hits all the metrics that we love? Is there any game that you're looking at?
I'll tell you what, there's a game that's very interesting. First of all, it loves the Atlanta Braves on the run line. It loves them on the run line. I think that's great. Another team that it really likes on the run line is the Milwaukee Brewers. And I'm telling you, I find this one very, very interesting simply because we got Freddie Peralta facing his old team, playing for the Mets now. He's pitching against Milwaukee in Milwaukee. Jacob Mizorowski is on the mound.
Right.
For the Brewers. I think that this is going to be one of those ones where if Peralta, I expect this to be a low-scoring game. So I'm a little surprised, especially with the model projection, it only has the Mets scoring 2.5 runs. So, if they can get to Peralta, better yet, if they can get to that New York Mets bullpen earlier, I love the Brewers on the run line there.
Yeah, the run line looks like -1.5 for the Brewers. I see the best line is like -103, so you can get a decent number. But the total, like you were talking about, is 7.5.
Right,
which is crazy. Another game.
I actually, an official play of mine that is on justthatsports.com is the first 5 in that game under 4 at +100. You're getting the push insurance at 4.
Okay,
but I do love the even money on 2 pitchers that can absolutely dominate through the first 5 innings.
I like it. All right. Well, you got a little extra bonus pick today. So you're welcome, people. You're welcome. All right. Well, let's go ahead and get to the man of the hour, the guy that everybody is practically here to see, except for when they want to see me and you. But we'll bring in the guy who is with my bookie, Rafael Esparza. What up, Raf?
What's going on, gentlemen? How are you doing this lovely Monday? Hey, you know what? I got Wi-Fi. I haven't had Wi-Fi since halftime of the championship game yesterday. I'm all set watching the game. I'm like, oh, it's halftime. Let me go get a nice cold beverage to watch the second half, and the Wi-Fi goes out. And it just came on maybe about 45 minutes ago.
That's stupid. Stupid internet people. Get it together.
I'm sorry, the internet company did you a solid because you got to miss that Justin Bieber debacle.
But I wouldn't have watched the music part of it. I would have probably did something else. But I heard it was a train wreck with Justin Bieber. I have not seen it. I have not watched it. But anytime you get some of the ladies that were in the stands watching it, A+ with me. I don't know how people. I'm tired of people saying, "Oh, one of this game sucks." But we'll praise a Baltimore Ravens shutout victory when they were dominating the NFL defense. We'll praise a no-hitter in baseball, a 3-0, but a dominating defense as Spain did. We make fun of it all day today. Give me a break, people.
No. See, but that's not the point. The point is those dominating effects, those dominating opportunities happen. Yes, they do. But to have it happen in a final, if we watched,
we've seen a no-hitter in a World Series. We've seen the Bears defense in the Super Bowl against New England. So no, don't give me that.
If we had a shutout, if we had a no-hitter for a game 7, first of all, a no-hitter is a phenomenal feat. Not scoring a goal in soccer is not a out of the world.
No shots on goal on a championship game with a guy named Messi on the field is pretty amazing. But no, I don't want to hear your excuses because we've seen, again, the Chicago Bears dominated the New England Patriots in the Super Bowl, and we don't complain about that.
Well, no, it's American football. We're not going to complain about that.
it is. But last time I checked, we live in a world, not just in a country. So it's a world sport. So that's what I mean.
We're kind of in both of those. If I had to be crystal clear.
Thank you, Jack Morris. I couldn't think of it, Joe. Thank you.
What
I couldn't think of it.
That was a no hitter.
Drew Blank.
Okay, that was I'm guessing no hitter. Who did Jack Morris pitch for?
I think I don't know who we got the no hitter, but I know it was Jack Morris.
Yeah,
I can't remember the tie.
Okay, I couldn't remember that. I thought it was the Tigers too. Yeah, and I'm here for it too. Mark Raphael, just spontaneous split decision is always good for me. Yes, but Miss Kim says Detroit. So
I thought it was Kevin Costner that pitched the no. Oh, that was the movie. Sorry.
That's what I was thinking of. All right, well, let's get to some questions. And I saw that Joe's already got a question in here, and me and Mark were talking about this after the last show of like how to get more questions in and how to I guess make it easier for us to see. But so if you have a question, just put in there like a hashtag Ask Raf or a hashtag Ask Raphael, whatever. It helps me see it better compared to when these things start happening a lot faster. When everybody starts piling in here at some point. But if you have a question, just put in there hashtag Ask Raphael, hashtag Ask Raf, whatever you want to put in there. I will see it because it'll look different than just you're saying something. But let's go ahead and get to this question first, Raphael, because I want to get to this one. How much did the books win yesterday? Because they killed the bettors at Fountain Blue.
Yeah, most of the big bets that I saw, and I didn't see like any $1 million bets. I didn't hear about any $1 million bets coming this one, but I did see a couple of 6 figures, and they were all on Argentina. So, I mean, I just think everyone wanted to see the little midget Messi run around and win another cup. So I think that's why the betting public did enjoy that. I'm blown away that the bettors were betting the over. I am completely shocked that. I mean, I think they just saw the plus money and they figured, hey, we're going to watch this. It was probably going to be one of the biggest viewed sporting events. The TV ratings have not come out yet. So I think people were going to watch it because who wants, again, Monday Night Football. We talk about this all the time. When you're watching Monday Night Football, are you betting the under? No, because who wants to sit there and watch an under game? Yeah, you're going to bet the over. So, but I'm blown away that the number came out. And even people were betting 2. I saw 1.5. They were still betting it over. I mean, just Spain defense was just suffocating. I mean, we saw it live yesterday on how good that defense was.
Yeah, there should have been at least 2 or more goals, at least just from Spain. Yeah, like at that point they pulled back. I think 2 of them, right, because of offsides.
Yeah, offsides.
Yeah, so it could have been 3-0, but overall, I thought it was a good good final game there in the World Cup. But I wanted to ask this question before I let Mark come in here with a question of his. The World Cup, was it overall? Was that one of the bigger, I guess, 2 months of sports betting? Because you have the NFL, and yes, and it is king. But we're talking about the world, as you were talking about and alluding to earlier. Was that 2 months? Was it the heaviest of sports betting that we've ever seen, or we've seen in a long time, or is still football king?
Folks were telling me they're looking at summer numbers. It's really hard to look at that because you're going against last year's baseball and WNBA. You're going through summer. You're not going now. If the World Cup was being played in October, November, December, I would really like to see what the numbers are. Because let's say World Cup Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday would get phenomenal betting numbers because it's a football fall. People are trying to get more money to bet on a weekend for college football in the NFL. So I would think it's probably a little bit lopsided. But for the summer numbers that the books got, they said there's tremendous. Just ask a local bar, hey, how did World Cup do for you guys? Because everybody was going to bars watching it and cheering for any team that they wanted to cheer for. And we had big names that were doing big things in the World Cup.
Yeah, that was great. I thought it was one of the best events that America could have ever had because it shined a positive light on America. And sometimes we need to remember that we do have a good country in the end. So I thought it was good. The World Cup, a success in my eyes.
And we didn't hear anything negative. There was like no massive fights or no shootings. I didn't hear really anything negative besides bars and stuff like running out of beer. I mean, that's the only thing that's the only thing I really heard, but nothing really negative and stuff like no fans fighting like that we see in the English Premier League all the time.
Yeah.
So I think you're right. 100%. I think it was all positivity.
Yeah. We had nobody setting. Go ahead.
Boston was never happier to see a group of people leave than when the Scots traveled down to Miami.
I don't know. Kim's saying soccer people or soccer fans know how to behave. I've seen them set
I don't know
stadiums on
about that.
fire.
I don't know about that, Kim. I've been to a lot of soccer games, and when Manchester U are playing Manchester City, they have to let the fans go separate. Man City fans leave separate, and then after all that, then the Man U fans. So I beg to differ. Some of those rivalries across the pond is not very friendly.
That date back hundreds of years.
Yes. Scotty's asking Ralph, World Cup, did the books win or did the public win?
Books won because I think everyone saw how France was dominating since game one. They were just kept on betting France. So the books won on it. I don't know, probably not that much, just because of Spain going back to back and stuff like that. But I think with all the money coming in on Argentina, it probably balanced the books out. The one thing I hate when after Super Bowl, after NBA championship, how did the books do? It's really hard to tell because once that last game, you post all the futures, you post everything. So now the books don't separate. It just gives you the number minus or plus for that day. But all the futures were posted on that date. So it's hard to break it down, and asking books to break it down for you just to do a show, they'll probably give me the middle finger.
I agree. Well, talking about a side quest here, we'll go to Mark with a question, but the bar running out of beer when Mark has a show for sure. But no shows right now. Mark's good. Mark's doing it easy. What's your question?
We're in a little bit of a hiatus, but my question is, shifting gears, is taking a look at the baseball season now as we start to go into the second half and start to look at teams. Are there any teams that are catching your eye that have real value given where their odds are either to make the playoffs or to win a division? Is that something that you've already started looking at?
Well, I'm going to go to your division, and it's not the Padres, but it's the other team in that division, the Arizona Diamondbacks, who have been playing some really good baseball. And those pitchers like Kelly and all them are finally getting out of their funk, and they're starting to hit the ball. If you like overs, if you get them at a good number, I would look at some of those games going over. I think they know they're not going to catch the Dodgers. I think they're 11.5 games out of first, but they're creeping up in the wild card and stuff like that. So if you're looking for someone to make the playoffs, you could probably still get a good number for the Diamondbacks. You might want to kind of look at that. And I'm glad you answered a baseball question, because now that we have the trade deadlines coming up, and I've heard from books and from people who follow baseball with some scouts, they're telling me that GMs are looking for rental players, not players that they want to trade and sign them for next year, because they might not be a next year. So it's going to be very interesting to see what some of these teams do, knowing that we might not even have a season, or maybe not have a first half of the season. Because I think all of us can agree baseballs could be in a very long strike next year. So and I've heard from 2 scouts that have really respect for it. They're telling me some of their guys are telling them that these teams might be looking for rental players, not players for, we'll keep them for this half of the season and hopefully sign them after next season. They might be just all in just for a rental player.
But if there was a strike, the players aren't getting paid, right? So they wouldn't be out on that, would they?
No, but I what I'm hearing, some players think that we're not playing next year. We do not want what they're giving us. We do not want what the NFL has with these stuff like that. This is going to be very, very ugly. We heard it during the All-Star break with some of these players saying, there's no way. We could care less that Soto got this and he does nothing. This is how we agreed, and we don't want to give any money back. This could be very, very, very ugly.
Wow, Mark, I had no idea how, I guess, big or how far apart these two sides were. Any idea on your side? Any knowledge of that?
No, I know that there's the Grand Canyon between the two sides right now.
Right.
I mean, there's no question. But as an outsider looking in, you have to ask yourself, how much of that is each side making noise to better their position, or how much of that is actually real? And I think that baseball has forever have these monster contracts that you can argue both sides. Is it good for the league or is it bad for the league? But at the end of the day, it's how do you get smaller teams into a buying market where they can compete with these larger teams? I mean, you've got the New York Yankees with the largest TV contract ever in history.
The Dodgers.
And the Dodgers. Money. Yeah, the Dodgers are just they can't spend it fast enough. You know, and so you're creating a situation where you have very little teams at the top. It's like college football. Speaking of college football, it's like college football where you have the cream of the crop in the top tier, a middle tier struggling to try to compete, and then you have the lower tier who's dealing with the scraps.
But your Padres are what? It's the Sun Belt Conference? The way
my Padres are how did Billy Bean say it in Moneyball? We are the runt of the litter.
But they spend a lot of money.
They spend a lot of money to get nothing.
It would be horrible. I would love to see what baseball does if the Milwaukee Brewers win the World Series this year. Not the Yankees, not the Dodgers, not these teams that have massive payrolls, but the Milwaukee Brewers win the World Series. Because then you have to sit back and say, because then your owners were like, hey, wait, we have all this money, and the Brewers won the World Series who don't have the payroll like the Dodgers and Yankees and Red Sox and stuff like that. So it'd be very interesting to see if a small market team actually won the World Series, because that would throw another wrench into the discussion of how this summer is going to be or fall is going to be for baseball.
Yeah, you got the Miami Marlins with one of the smallest salaries right now, and
White Sox.
And the White Sox. And you got those two teams who are playing phenomenal baseball at the moment. I think it really goes to that argument of if we can find some way to balance this system, we could really put out a great product where things are a little more competitive.
Yeah, I'm curious how all this plays out. Rafael, what are the two, I guess the biggest thing that's the gap between the players and the union, or the players and the owner? Like what is the gap? Is it just the pay? Like, because I honestly I've followed it enough, but I don't really know, besides like the just outlandish or the obvious stuff. But is there like just something that here is the gap? That's it.
The salary cap. That's pretty much what I'm hearing. Because I mean, if you're the Miami Marlins and all of a sudden you hear you wake up the next morning and what, the Dodgers just signed who, or the Dodgers just traded for who? The Dodgers just got Screwball. I mean, great, that's not going to happen because I think the Tigers are going to keep him now. But I'm just saying, I think this, between a salary cap and just the Dodgers and Yankees just printing money just to get guys out there, I think those are two biggest hurdles that they have to.
Yeah, and that's kind of, I thought that had to be the only thing, but I wasn't sure there's something else that I wasn't aware of other than the salary cap. But yes, I think that we're into a point of the Dodgers are spending a lot of money, and they have spent it, but it's also paid off. But it's just to the point of like, all right, we can't keep doing this. All right, well, let's go ahead.
That's a great question. Kim just asked a question, and I think it's a great one.
Yeah.
She says, will pitching issues affect the Brewers? Woodruff's out for the season. Now Kyle Harrison is on the 15-day IL. Rob.
I think Harrison is probably the biggest concern. I mean, Woodruff was okay. It wasn't like he was like dominating stuff. I think to be in the market for pitching, just like everyone else in that division, Cubs would be looking for pitching. Look out for Joe Ryan. Joe Ryan could be a team that people are going to be looking. I can see him looking nice in Milwaukee. I can see him looking nice for the Cubs. I think Joe Ryan is someone people are probably going to look at, but I think the Brewers and Cubs will both be looking for pitching. I mean, because the Brewers don't need bats. I mean, they play great long ball and short ball. They like move guys over, they steal, they push guys over. They play really good small ball. They don't need another bat. Maybe someone in a dugout for pinch hitting them, a heavy side bats. But I think the pitching, their bullpen's really good as well.
All right, staying on the baseball, I want to ask one more question on that one. Who do you think? What could be the biggest name that actually that you could see get moved at the trade deadline for Major League Baseball?
I mean, I think when season started, the way the Tigers started, everyone thought Scooble was going to be that big name. Now, I don't think he's going anywhere. I thought the Red Sox could move some of their guys. I don't think they're going to move some of their guys now the way the Boston Red Sox have been flaming hot. That's a great question. I really don't see a big, huge name going. I just think we see some guys just picking up and putting on a different jersey that's, third, fourth starter. I don't see a one or two going to someone. Maybe Joe Ryan a couple years ago would be a big name,
right? Not anymore.
But not no more.
I heard that Mason Miller from the Padres, the closer, is on the trading block, and they're fielding offers for him. I think that would be a huge move. Look, San Diego has one of the most dominating, if not the most dominating bullpens in all of baseball. Their offense sucks. They can't buy runs, they can't manufacture hits, they can't manufacture runs, and it kills them because their pitching can keep them close, but they can't offensively get past it. It's horrible that you have to give up that element of your bullpen, who has been so dominating. The guy's amazing to watch pitch. If you haven't seen Mason Miller close out a game, it reminds me of Trevor Hoffman.
I mean, there's still only 2.5 games out of the wild card spots, so I mean, I think they would need to
might as well be 20.
Completely tank the next couple of weeks for them to, I think, get rid of him, unless someone really gives them a nice offer.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. Everybody's within striking distance. I don't know who the sellers are, and I think everybody would buy if the price is right. But I'm curious how this all shakes out.
Tatis, please, just move him.
Oh yeah, I don't think anybody wants him. That's the issue. Yeah. Sorry, nobody wants your guy. But if you want to be a part of what Raphael is a part of and what we're all a part of, make sure you check out my bookie. It's in the very top. You can just use. If you don't know what to do, if you're watching on your phone, because I've had this question, how do I scan a QR code if it's on my phone and I'm watching it on my phone? Just take a screenshot on your phone and then just hold your finger on it, and then it pops up the QR code. Very simple. Even I figured that one out on my own without Google. Robbie has not figured it out yet, but we won't talk to Robbie about that one. But if you want to go over, just go to my bookie. You can use the promo code MyB, as in my bookie, MyB Weekday, and we'll go ahead and get you set up there, and you can bet where we bet with my bookie. But Raphael, I do have a question. Actually, I don't have a question, but Mark had a question for you, and it's about the NBA, and I'm curious what your answer is, because I think I know, but I want to hear your answer. Mark, what's your question, sir?
So we just finished the NBA Summer League, and how does Vegas look at the performance of those guys and try to adjust for, or maybe not adjust for, the impact that they might have on next year's NBA season?
That's what I thought.
Really? Zero. The NBA Summer League is for rookies to learn about maybe some physicality that the NBA is going to produce, and the foreign and guys to try to pick up a foreign team to go across the pond and to play. The NBA Summer League has nothing to do with futures, has nothing to do with total season wins. Maybe rookie of the year bets come in after a Summer League game, but we have no opinion what the NBA Summer League. All it is just watching free basketball, because we used to get in for free for the NBA Summer League.
So like watching a guy like Cam Boozer go up against, and yes, I understand that they're rookies, and there's some guys that were in the league that need more development, so they're down playing. But is there's zero impact on, well, he did this here? How does that equate to the actual nothing? Huh?
Yeah, nothing, zero.
I got a question though about like wins and the futures on the wins on the season. Because and I don't know why, but I don't know why a number moves this much. But the Grizzlies, just talking about them, they opened the season on FanDuel with a 21.5 wins number, and it got bet up pretty quickly and ended up
bad number.
Yes, that was a terrible number. And then DraftKings came out with a 26.5, like the next day. And that got bet up alongside, because then FanDuel adjusted from 21 to 23.5 to 26. And then they both got bet up to 28.5, where I think it's settled at. What makes it just kind of those numbers of wins move as much drastically? Bad numbers, or is it betting money, or what is that?
Bad numbers. That 21.5 is just a horrible number. I have a good source of mine told me that people were just asking how much they can bet on 21.5. Most of these NBA total season wins, they're not accepting $10,000 bets. Probably right. 5K is probably the max bet and stuff like that. But that's 21. That just tells me sometimes people just, I want to be the first person out with numbers, and then they put your numbers, and then for other books, okay, let's see how they do on their numbers, and that just tells me, wow, they were totally wrong on the Memphis Grizzlies, where it should have been. I would have probably opened up at 26.5 and put the juice at like maybe minus 125 on the over, just to see what it would get on there. Maybe beg for under money early, get plus money, and then you can use that plus money on the under to adjust the over money. That's probably going to continue to come in.
That's crazy. And that's what people don't realize, like why numbers have the odds that they have and why you put them in a certain number. And I think that's always interesting to me, how that plays out. And so I thought it was very good. Mark, what are you laughing over there?
I am now going to die on this hill. Those lines move because people watch the summer league tournament and they start looking at what a boozer can do to those win numbers. And yeah, that's where that information comes from.
Exactly. It's all about the summer league. It's all about the summer league, Rob. What is wrong with this guy? I don't understand. This is what I have to deal with, Raphael.
I did see a question in the chat. Someone asked, when is Texas and California going to get legalized sports gambling? Some people say they do because you can bet Kalshi and Poly Market in some of those places. So if you're California and Texas, you're sitting back right now because you're pleasing to your fan base. Say, hey, you know what? You can bet. Even I think some places at DraftKings, you can bet at their prediction markets over at California. And so now you're just sitting back just to see what's going to happen in the courts with the prediction market. So California, Texas is not really in desperate mode right now. I think California might be ahead of Texas just because of all the religious that goes on in Texas. And let's face it, we all know what political basis in Texas. So I would say they would probably take a little bit longer. I would think if I had to put money on who's going to get full legalization, Florida or Texas, I would probably say Texas because last time I checked, a mouse lives in Florida. So I don't think they're going to get a full, besides Hard Rock.
Oh, I was about to say they're there, but not.
Yeah, but people like, oh, yeah, Florida has to have Hard Rock. Well, Hard Rock, you have to look through the fine print. It's mostly owned by the Indian casinos, so the state ain't getting jack shit with the money most states get. It's like for like where you were or I'm in like for Vegas and stuff like that. They ain't getting no gaming taxes because the Indians are getting all that.
Wow, that's nuts. All right, well, if you want to bet, you can also go to my bookie. Very simple. But Raphael, last thing I want to talk about, and I know Mark does, he's like chomping the bit, talk about some college football. So next week, talk about college football. Deal?
Right. Is the SEC finally going to beat the Big Ten? I mean, last time I checked, it's just the Big Ten owns the college football. That's all I understand. I mean, most of the money's coming in on Ohio State, Oregon, and Notre Dame to win a national championship. Not Alabama, not Georgia, not LSU. Those three schools have the most money coming in right now.
Wow.
So we're going with the independents. I like it.
Right. I don't know about that, but I'm just saying Notre Dame is like the Chicago Cubs of football. You're going to get Notre Dame money no matter what comes in. The Cubs could have the world's worst lineup and world's worst pitching staff in the world, and you're going to have most tickets written Chicago Cubs. Most tickets written in college football will be Notre Dame because of fan base. All those Rudies out there are betting Notre Dame.
Wow. All right. Well, we'll ask that. We'll still continue our baseball talk. We're not going to move away from that. But
so you're telling me the Syracuse Orange don't have much of a shot?
Oh no, they're done. They're cooked, as the kids say. But we'll have some futures questions for next week about college football. We'll have you answer those. But let me give me some time. I need to figure out my questions for this year. But Raphael, our time is up. But thank you for coming and hanging out with us. Get that off here. He's our guest, for crying out loud. But anyway, thank you for coming to hang out. We'll make sure that if we have a chance to see you with some spices, we'll get you some Bass and Blends. Is that okay? We'll call Seabass. Get you some of that.
I forgot to say this. I almost won with Wilson Contreras to win the home run derby. He came out red hot. I went out of because I predicted Wilson Contreras would win the home run derby last Monday. That'd been great if he would have won. Oh, I would have came with my pimp hat on. I'm like, yeah, Wilson Contreras.
I wish you'd have won now, even though people hate Wilson Contreras. All right, well, let's hear from Seabass. Can't thank you enough, Raphael. We'll see you next Monday.
Thanks, buddy. Take it easy, guys.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Seabass, the only 5-star chef in the game. We all know sports betting is full of bad beats and tough calls, but when it comes to flavor, there's no second guessing. Bassett's Blends is the plus EV lock of every meal. We don't need a stinking model. Crafted with winning spices and bold taste, Bassett's Blends comes in 3 flavors, original, hot, and no salt, that's going to turn chicken, steak, vegetables, any dish into a can't-miss cover every night. With Bassett's Blends, there's no bad beats, no flavor fades, just guaranteed greatness. Check out the link right here where you can pick up your Bassett's blends for a guaranteed lock every single night.
All right, let's get some dingers and put a bow on this show. But let's talk about these guys. I have my daily dingers, but let's look at these daily dingers. And we have Schwarbaum plus 177. My God. Spencer Torkelson plus 230. James Wood plus 230. Dylan Dinglerdong at plus 250. And then Esmeralyn Valdez plus 315.
Esmeralyn Valdez.
I no idea. Whatever. What you got? Who you like on this this list or off the list?
Listen, he won the home run derby for a reason. He beat William Contreras, didn't win. Give me James Wood at plus 230. Are you kidding? He's playing in Colorado, a launching pad to begin with, and you got a guy who is used to launching missiles anyway. I'll take him all day long, especially at plus 230.
All right. Well, I am going to stay away from the three guys that I have on the Daily Dinger video because you got to go watch it yourself. So I'm going to stay away from that. I'm going to separate myself. But I've talked to a friend who hasn't been on in a while, and I want to ask him a question. And so if you're seeing here, Mr. Predicto, I like a Dingler dong. So, Mr. Predicto, is Dylan Dingler going yard today?
The answer is unclear. Try again.
Can you hear it?
Yeah. So the answer is unclear. Try again.
Okay.
Ask about Esmeralyn Valdez. I'll tell you why. Before you ask Mr. Predicto, let me just give you some data on Valdez. In his last 7 games, he's hit a home run in 5 of them. He's facing Ryan Weathers, a left-handed pitcher, and he has a 20% barrel rate on fastballs. Guess what? Weathers throws his fastballs at 43%. That's his go-to pitch. I love this spot for Valdez playing in New York. Great hitting conditions tonight in the city. Does he hit a home run?
All right, Mr. Predicto. I've set you up. I've adjusted my mic. I hope this is better. Is Mr. Esmeralyn Valdez hitting a dinger tonight?
You can rely on that.
You can rely on that. Wow. All right. Well, we're not going to get the Dingler dong tonight, but we'll definitely get a Valdez dong, which is going to be really nice. No Yolanda Alvarez go in the yard. It's Scott's trying to make this as hard as possible on us. I'm trying to figure out a home run. He said, you have a player that could hit a grand slam. Bro.
Esmeralyn Valdez.
Hard enough as it is. I'm not asking Mr. Predicto on that one.
Esmeralyn Valdez, I'll tell you why. Hold on one second, because I believe
shut up.
He's batting in the 6th spot.
So you're hoping that his friends get on for him.
Yep. Give me that top of the lineup to get on. That Valdez crank a home run. I am telling you, if he hits a home run, I'm getting a mug. If he hits a grand slam tonight, it's a mug.
A grand slam, not a home run.
No, a home run's only plus 325. Why would I do that?
Yeah, I can't do that. But a grand slam, I give you that. I get you a mug. All right, that's all we got to the show today. Thanks for Raphael for coming on here. Thanks to Marky Model hanging out. Thank you all of you for hanging out. I even saw Wenzel come up here. Wenzel Walker come and hang out with us for a little bit. But on Mondays and any day, really, let's try to see if we can get the hashtag Ask Raf. We'll try to get that on Mondays, and then any other day, if you have a question, just ask. By all means, we'll make sure we answer any questions. We'll look through all the games for you. We'll kind of make this a work through type of a show on a general basis, especially when we get to football, where it's going to be busy top to bottom already. But for Mark, DG, thank y'all for hanging out with us. We'll see you all Wednesday, but make sure you do not miss our videos Monday through Friday, always coming out, and then you can be a member as well and check out our extra content. So we'll see all you then.